Hello, everybody. Welcome to B2B Morning Zoo. Nate Warren with you here, standing in for my co-host Jay Schwan, who will be represented momentarily by this bag of Kirkland peanuts.
My name is Jason Schwan. I couldn't record today because my underwear got stolen by a wolf man.
Quick note on standing apart in personal branding. There's lots of chatter about it, but not many people seem to even manage to separate themselves from the hey, let's personal brand crowd. And there's 50 people just as anodyne, antiseptic, and vacuous saying, stand out, which isn't always easy to do. But if you kind of know what your local battlefield terrain is, it gets a lot easier. And sometimes, as with some forms of music, the limitations inspire the creativity. And to that note, I want to talk about my longtime friend, Carlo Valle. Carlo, I met when he was pretty fresh out of the Army in Colorado Springs. He now lives in Canada and is an investment representative consultant guy. And so a couple things are challenging for Carlo. One, there's some pretty serious regulatory overlay around what he can and can't say, not to mention financial brands, and particularly they're pretty hard guardrails in terms of what they allow their representative to say, to whom, to how, and when. And I'd been talking back and forth with him, and sometimes all it takes is that interesting quarter turn to just give you lots of daylight between you and the others. I'm going to share my screen here briefly and show you what he did the other day that I was so proud of him for. Okay, I just wanted to post attendee. Oh, the hell is this? It's my email. Apple revs car rumors. Oh, hooray. You can get a long way in business by just having a staff that does nothing but just watch the waters. And when one of like 5 billionaires turns over and farts, you just write it up. Give a fuck about Apple cars. Shut up. Now I'm into beta features, something which I just shouldn't be allowed anywhere near. I've got it up in my Chrome. All I want to do is, there's that beautiful quote that they use to bookend Ford versus Ferrari, where they talk about there's a point at which car and driver unite, and it's just a body going through space. And that's really what your user, at least this user, wants to be, is just creating at the speed of thought and moving. And when you have to stop doing that work or leave that space and think about the tools, then I hate your tool. I hate you. I hate any software that doesn't work exactly like the inside of my mind. So get on that one, Apple iCars. Anyway, I think I found the tab. So here we go. Carlo Valle's new personal branding campaign. I'm gonna do a little screen share here. Ta-da! There's my man, Carlo. So what he did, Carlo's a very smart, cool guy with a cool personality. So he did a photo shoot and then laid some big type across it. Now, this is old news to, if you've been branded companies in other spaces, but that little twist, there you go. All of a sudden, your league's, in my opinion, out in front of, everybody from Edward Jones with the tie and headshot. Let's talk about your whatever trends that they're allowed to talk about. And he manages to stay within the guardrails, but infusing it with his own personality. I love this shot. Just relax. When I saw this, I'm like, by gosh, you're onto it. He's going to use this campaign to seed targeted webinars. And he has enough photos from the shoot to make a whole campaign just from being himself. There you go. I just stopped share. Hopefully y'all saw that. If not, hell with it. Also, on the note of personal branding, I'm excited about our guest today. Last weekend, I got to talk with one of, in my opinion, the most interesting entrepreneurs around, and not incidentally, one of my favorite human beings, Castel Valere-Couturier of Sound Off. I've worked with Castel on and off for a number of years, and one of the reasons he got into the space he's in now is by looking around in his immediate competitive set and figuring out how to carve a more mature brand among a competitive set that was mostly kind of party people. So we're going to talk to Castel in just a moment about how he did that and where he thinks his interesting space is going in just a minute. Welcome to B2B Morning Zoo.
Thank you, Nate. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and being that I have spent some time in your business, my friend and sometimes client Castel runs a New York business called Sound Off. Did you change the full name, or does it still just sound off as the primary ID?
Just sound off. Yeah.
Castel is a former salesperson and always an entrepreneur and friend of mine who decided that his true love was producing and being the logistical tissue for at first silent discos, but now much more. And one of the reasons I liked working with Castel because he really knows the value of micro niching inside a niche, and that's what I loved the last project we did because in the competitive set of mostly, hey, we're the big giant disco party people, Castel's like, no, I'm going to be the first audio equipment brand, true brand in the space. So welcome and congratulations for making it this far through these choppy waters, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Huh.
It's good to be here.
And I'm just going to apologize to my guests and my viewers. Last night, I spent 2 hours drinking on a Zoom call with a speed metal band from Kentucky called Belushi Speedball. It was not a good idea. So that's why I look like I slept in the gutter. But so story time, my friend.
My favorite.
You told you kind of hinted at how you did a rapid turnaround after COVID cratered you at first. Do you want to talk to us about that?
Sure. So yeah, like you were saying, a lot of our business was in the special events space, producing silent discos or any kind of event with wireless headphones. We've been doing that. Well, 2020 was our 10th year, and COVID put a rapid end to anything events focused. In 2019, we did over 1,000 events, and they came to a screeching halt in 2020. So we had to figure out what to do next. I mean, COVID was an interesting time because it's not like we were the only ones out there that were struggling, right? There's a lot of businesses that, had the rug pulled from underneath them. And so we were kind of along for the ride from that perspective. Having done this for almost 10 years at this point, or at that point, I really wanted to see if there was a way that we could make a shift and see the business continue to survive. Oftentimes, entrepreneurs, business owners are so tied to whatever it is that they were doing that they don't want to make a change. And I said, I'm up for anything. I would just want to see the brand survive, want to see the business survive. Once we dealt with all the kind of mayhem with cancellations, and unfortunately, we had to let go of the whole team just to kind of make it through, really kind of started listening to the needs of what our former clients are. We had a pretty significant business in the fitness and wellness space. And a lot of those clients were dealing with restrictions that were put on their businesses because, with COVID, they couldn't have indoor classes or they were limited to 25% capacity, which really wasn't viable for most of them. So a lot of our clients are trying to find ways to do outdoor programming, and we became kind of essential for them because what we're able to do is provide immersive audio experiences for people. In a landscape where a lot of these companies or these businesses are in outdoor, or they're trying to do outdoor programming, or they're operating in urban environments. Blasting music really wasn't an option for them. So just putting up a couple speakers, maybe you could get away with that, once in a blue moon, but probably not every day at 6 a.m.
I tried it at Walmart. It didn't work out.
What happened?
Big ass speaker in my cart, I thought it was fun. I was the only one.
Yeah. No, you could
Not a lot of Sean Price fans at Walmart that morning.
So yes, so you know what they were going through. So we always had a retail part of our business, but it was a very small part of the business, and COVID kind of redid that mix for us. And again, just kind of listening to what we needed, our clients needed, starting to optimize our offerings for those needs specifically. We switched all of our training to online and virtual. That really just kind of kept the faucet going, and I think it's now propelled us into a new era of what the business will look like.
Awesome. And so you sort of made up the ground with equipment sales. Is that what I remember you telling me? Yeah.
Correct.
Just another thing, a way you stood apart in your niche, which I really liked, was instead of just being the party provisioners, we're going to push this technology to other applications, and you made big inroads and a pioneer in doing like large, big guided yoga sessions here, Hong Kong, Miami, all across the really cool stuff. Let's take COVID. Let's wave a wand and take COVID out of the picture. Where do you want to see this application go next? Either as the general trend or under your roof.
Well, you're right. One of the things that really differentiated us was that I thought less of the product as a party accessory and more as a tool, an audiovisual tool that could be applied to any kind of event space. It doesn't necessarily have to be an event because we also do classes, things like that. But it was an audio solution, a wireless audio solution for any kind of audio application, right? So we're in the same places you could put speakers, you could think about how our technology could apply. It's interesting, like you said, we've done everything from fitness and wellness events, we have AV applications, conferences, stuff like that. As far as different applications for the technology, I'm always surprised. We get inquiries from new customers or from our clients who think about new ways to use the technology all the time. And so I'm always impressed by that. I wouldn't say that right now we're looking to push into new verticals per se. Where we're at, especially in the fitness and wellness space, we're really looking to dominate in that area. One of the things that we're currently working on, it's close to launching, is a headphone that can be multi-purpose. So right now, our technology is based off of radio frequency technology, and that gives us the ability to send a signal one to many. But what we've been working on is a headphone that can do both Bluetooth and RF. This was something that was in the pipeline pre-COVID, but COVID sort of accelerated the development of that because now people want to have their own equipment. They don't necessarily want to share, whether it's a gym or a concert. They want to be able to bring their own headphones. So with this new product, you can connect it to your phone, to your TV, any personal device. You can take it to the gym. You could take it on a run. You could listen to your music at home. But you could also, essentially with the hit of a button, change the mode, and so you can be in the group mode. So you can take that same unit from home and then also use it for group exercise or at a conference or that kind of thing. So that's a really big new thing for us that we're hoping to launch early spring. And I see that being the future, where now that the pandemic has kind of forced people to bring the technology into their own homes and to have a purpose for using it outside of, once in a blue moon, you could take this headphone, you could, go to an outdoor movie screening that has, a sound off transmitter, and you could, whether you're in the front or the back, you can have a really crisp audio experience. You could use it at the gym, you can use it anywhere. So we're turning our company into like a lifestyle brand or whatever it is. I think that's kind of where we're heading, where people can use the technology in all walks of their daily lives. Where before it was, I'm going to a party and I'm gonna, just use this for 2 hours on a Saturday night.
Yep. And I always look forward to see, how you're going to own that beachhead or where you're going to go next. This has been a couple of minutes with Castel Valere-Couturier of Sound Off. I think that's Castel at Sound Off Experience still, or just
Yep.
.com. Hit him up if you want a really polished business thinker with really awesome hardware on the other end of that line for all kinds of applications. Primarily, like he said, like he touched on, guided fitness stuff. The limitations force you to get creative. So good on you. I have to eat a little crow before we go. I looked at the NCHC standings. It's metrically provable. CC does suck.
CC does suck.
So
I mean, we've always known this, but I'm glad that finally you're coming on board with the.
Although I noticed the Western Michigan hung a nice L on you the other day. That was cool. Anyway, thanks for being a sport. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing some of your Saturday with us. And we'll be in touch, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you. Adios.
Bye.
You, Jay. Where's no. I wanted this. I wanted the scarf with the words on it. If it doesn't have words, how the hell am I supposed to know if I'm better than anybody else? Just has a fucking pattern. Can't I have a dollar sign or something?